Hello, everybody.
I have three Magruder.
Okay. Are we, I guess, have you decided how you want to proceed today? I have a new thing to arraign her on. Then we have the hearing for the original.
I suppose it depends on what the thing is.
The newest says, per Aver Health failed to submit to random urinalysis April 11, April 12, April 17, April 20, and April 22nd.
I think we're ready to proceed. It'll be Leon, I'll be above, Judge.
On the record in state of Michigan versus Sharika Magruder 2201547 SM.
Madam Nagel for the people.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Ms. Magruder.
And you're Sharika Magruder.
Sharika Magruder.
Thank you. Today's the date for probation violation, arraignment, and hearing, I guess I'd say. Ms. Magruder, when you entered your plea in this case, it was to an offense punishable by up to 90 days in jail. So if you're found to violate probation, you face up to 90 days with credit for time that you've already served. You have the right to have an attorney. Mr. Riley is representing you. You have the right to have a hearing where it must be proven by a preponderance of the evidence you violated your probation. We have the original violations that you've already been arraigned on, which are testing positive for alcohol and marijuana on March 15, alcohol and marijuana on March 18, and I guess an abnormal test on positive for marijuana March 25th, abnormal test March 26th, and then the new violations, which are failure to test at Aver Health on April 11, April 12, April 17, April 20, and April 22nd. Mr. Riley, how are we going to proceed today?
Your Honor, Ms. Magruder will plead guilty to all of the above listed violations.
Ms. Magruder, you understand that if you proceed with pleading guilty, you will give up your right to have a hearing on whether you violated?
Yes.
And also that you have a recommendation from probation as to how you might be sentenced, but that's a recommendation. Your sentence is what I decide. You understand that as well? Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Ms. Magruder, you were sentenced by this court to probation in September of 2023. Is that right? As a condition of your probation, you were ordered, firstly, not to use any alcohol, marijuana, or drugs that you don't have a prescription for. You remember that?
Yes.
We've had discussions about this. Is it true that you tested positive for alcohol and THC on March 15?
That's what the document says. And yes. I mean, it was my urine. So, yes.
Well, you can have a hearing if you want to dispute this.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to play a game with you.
I'm not playing again.
Either we're doing this or we're not.
We are. I don't know what you mean. I'm answering the question.
Yep. And you're answering it in a way that you want to try to dispute that this is
No, I
actually what
don't.
happened.
No, I don't at all.
Did you test positive for alcohol and THC on March 18?
Yes.
Did you test positive for THC on March 25th?
Yes.
And I guess it looks like your test on March 26th was dilute. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you fail to provide your test on April 11,
Yes.
April 12,
Yes.
April 17, April 20, and April 22nd?
Yes.
Did anyone make any promises or threats to you in order to get you to plead guilty here today?
No.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free choice?
Yes.
Find your guilty plea to be knowingly, voluntarily, accurately made with sufficient facts on the record upon which to base your plea is therefore accepted. It's 9 technical violations, 7 prior technical violations. Mr. Nagel, do you wish to be heard on sentence?
Your Honor, we would ask that the court follow the recommendation in the report that probation be terminated and the defendant be sentenced to a term in jail.
Mr. Riley.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Magruder has been very pleased about the fact that she is not feel that she is a good fit for probation. She's ready to be done with it at this point. I would simply ask the court, my one request would be that any sentence that might be imposed be tailored in a way that would not cause Ms. Magruder to become unemployed and possibly lose her home and her family in the process. I think that's something that she is deeply concerned about at this point.
Ms. Magruder, what would you like to say before I sentence you?
To what he said, I had 2 jobs. I lost my first job due to having to come in late, which put me behind on my bills. I am $3,000 behind on my rent. I have a water and light bill that is $1,600. I have one job now, which I was supposed to be at today. And I just don't want to lose my job, because if I lose my job, I lose my house, I will lose everything. So I just want like work release if that's possible, or weekend or something like that, due to things that I'm going through in my personal life. And that is half of the reason why I haven't been to any of my drops, because as y'all see, I don't care, I'm gonna drop, no matter what's going on in my life, but I just didn't have the money because I'm trying to get money from my rent and things like that. So I just didn't have it. And that's the only reason why I have not dropped. I'm not doing it. That's the only reason why I have not dropped.
Why are you not participating with your treatment?
I don't have funds for anything. Once I lost my other job, I've just been behind on everything, and not to sound rude or anything, but the drops was nothing was more important than trying to get my rent money and stuff to provide a roof over my children's head. I don't need CPS in my life. I none of that. So that's where my mind went, as of me losing my job and then being behind on my bills and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like, I'm paying for the court things and not for my children's roof over their head and stuff like that. That would make me a bad mom. So I chose to do what I thought was right, which was work hard and borrow for my rent. So it's not that I don't care, it's just that financially, since I lost my other job, I just been in a financial bind. And I come and I stand before y'all all the time, and I just seem like nothing's okay, but in my personal life, things are falling apart. Things are just falling apart. And I'm here because I chose to not want to drag things out. I am responsible for what I am going through. I don't blame anyone for anything. I blame myself, because if I would have just did what I needed to do last year, I wouldn't be in this predicament. But now I'm in a predicament where it's just everything is falling apart, and I just cannot afford. Now I can't afford like a long period of jail time. I know you gave me the option of 4 days, but I had a job, so I don't know how the system works. So I was like, no. And then I added it on, and now here we are. I'm sorry for breaking down. It's just a lot going on in my personal life, and I can't afford this. So that's it.
Ms. Magruder, there have been a series of choices that have been made along the way, and I feel for the fact that you felt you couldn't afford testing. I'm not so sure about the treatment, because I know that it wouldn't have cost you money to go to CMH, and I know that there's other ways to do treatment through the millage and insurance. But the continuous use to test positive for substances and some of the other things that you have elected to do during this probation means that this is going to end with a consequence. Probation is revoked. The sentence of the court is 12 days jail, and I'll waive the balance of fines and costs that are due. We're not going to try and collect any more money from you. If you'd like to appeal my sentence and you need a public defender to assist you, you need to make your application within 14 days. Do you have a question on that?
You said 12 days, so does it start now, today?
Right now. You'll be time. And then you make a decision going forward to stay out of the system, stay out of all of this, so that you don't have to be in this cycle of chaos.
Well, as you've seen, I've never been in trouble, so I've tried. I stayed out 39, so I tried. It's doing good, but yes, I get it.
Any questions? Good luck to you, Ms. Magruder.
No.
Mr. Benson is ready.
Mr. Benson's ready. Okay. Do we need an agent?
No, we,
All right, on the record in state of Michigan versus Melvin Benson, 2201875 FD.
Pat Nagel for the people.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Mr. Benson.
And you, sir, you are Melvin Benson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today's the date for your probation violation hearing. As a reminder, you received your charge reduction in this case. So the
Yes, sir.
maximum possible penalty is removal from specialty court and up to 365 days in jail with credit for any time the party served. You have the right to have an attorney. Mr. Riley is representing you. You have the right to have a hearing where it must be proven by a preponderance of the evidence you violated your probation. The alleged violations are two of them. Firstly, that you tested positive for alcohol at Avon Health on March 22nd, 2024, and that you failed to attend your 12-step meeting on April 14 of 2024. Mr. Riley, how are we going to proceed?
Your Honor, Mr. Benson will plead guilty to those violations.
Mr. Benson, you understand that if you proceed with pleading guilty, you will give up your right to have a hearing on whether you in fact violated probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, there's a recommendation from probation as to how you might be sentenced. That is a recommendation, and your sentence is what I decide. You understand that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're ready to proceed with pleading guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Benson, you were sentenced to specialty court in September of 2022. You remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And of course, as a condition of your participation, you're not to consume alcohol.
Yes,
Is
Your
it
Honor.
true that you tested positive for alcohol use on March 22nd at Avon Health?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're also ordered to provide 12-step meetings in 90 days. Is it true that you failed to attend your meeting on April 14 of 2024?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone make any promises or threats to you to get you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free choice?
Yes, I am.
Find your guilty plea to be knowingly, voluntarily, accurately made with sufficient facts on the record upon which base your plea, it's therefore accepted. That's two technical violations. Mr. Nagel, do you wish to be heard on the sentence?
We'll defer to the court on this one now.
Mr. Rayleigh,
Your Honor, I think the recommendations are fair. And with Mr. Benson, I think he certainly is motivated to continue in this program and complete the process. I think he's committed to sobriety and to compliance going forward. And I think since this, since the older of these two violations came up in March, sort of become clear to him going forward, it is to really be mindful at all times that he needs to watch himself and be mindful of what he's putting in his body. And I think he certainly is willing and ready to really accept any adjustments the court might want to his probation conditions, any requirements. I think certainly whatever it takes to continue in this process, he's ready to do it.
Melvin, what would you like to tell me today?
I've come a long ways, Your Honor. I understand I've had my ups and downs and stuff, but I've come a long ways, and it's because of being in this program. Because, I was alcoholic for over 30 years. It hasn't been easy for me, but I've still been trying. I've had my ups and downs and stuff. But I'm doing the best I can, and I'm doing a lot better. I'm a lot stronger, because I don't know where I'd be right now if it wasn't for this program, because I drink every day, all day. And since then, I've been trying. I've got a good job. I work every day and stuff. I just, I have my hard time. I need to have better control. I need to reach out in AA more and reach out to my sponsor more to keep myself in control and keep my life, keep stuff together.
Mr. Benson, you put us in a spot. I think I've talked to you before about we can't want this more than you do. You have to want it for yourself.
Yes, I understand that.
And if you're in the program just to avoid jail, it's a really long road. You do 2-3 years probation to avoid a year of jail. You could have just done the jail.
Yeah.
So you got to be doing it for some other reason.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're doing the longest walk down the road.
Yes, Your Honor.
Going the
Yeah,
longest
because
way.
I had spoken that at first. I was like, well, it's easier to carry it out and just do the time because it would have been over.
It would have. It would have, sir.
I'm not.
And that's where, it's perplexing at times because you have come a long way, but then every now and then you just go back to your old way. Because not only did you use, but then you lied about it, which is old Melvin behavior.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It doesn't really get us anywhere. That's why I said, when I saw you last on the Zoom, think about what your response is and then think about if that's the new Melvin or the old Melvin, the way you want to live or the way you used to live.
The way I want to live, not the way I used to live.
So every time you think, I'm gonna just lie about it, well, firstly, you should probably consider, how many times has that worked out? Not many.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've been really felt bad about that too. You know, I should have admitted, but you know, mess up, you know, face reality and what you did, hoping it would just go away. But it won't.
And the missed AA meeting, I guess I'm perplexed a little bit on that too, because you didn't get a doctor's note and you didn't tell Brianna before she caught it, which gets me thinking, because I see a lot of people on probation.
Yeah, I told her I hadn't been feeling good that day. I was the only.
And I feel like people don't feel good when they have to do something they really just don't feel like doing, right? I don't feel like going to work today. I suddenly don't feel good. I just feel like it's an easy excuse.
No, I actually wasn't. I actually was sick. I
Then
went to the
you should
doctor's the
have
next day.
told Brianna before she caught you. You should have told
Yeah.
Brianna, hey, I didn't go to my AA today because I'm not feeling good. Instead of, you know, a couple days later, you're turning your paperwork and she says, what happened on April 14? You say, oh, I just didn't go. That's not how to handle that, you know, because it looks
Bad.
like you just came up with a reason to not do something you didn't feel like doing. You know?
I understand.
Okay. So it's been really difficult because I always rely on treatment to help advise me as well. You know, is Melvin really invested in his program? Is this something he really wants to do, or is he just trying to avoid the consequences of not doing it? And treatment, I think they were on the fence 2 weeks ago. But when I saw them last week, they felt like you had maybe shown them something that made them think you do really want to do this. You know, people can say whatever they say, but whatever you show them is more important.
Yes.
But you know, there's gonna be escalating consequences of jail each time that we have to go down this road, especially this late in the program. You're not phase 1, you're not phase 2, heck, you're not even year 1. So we do have a little bit higher standard of expectation from you now. Because you've already showed us how far you can go. All right, so part of this is consequences, part of this is rehabilitation, and part of this is monitoring. Everything that we do has a different purpose. So firstly, we'll continue your participation in probation and special court because you said you want to,
Thank
and
you.
because treatment said last week that they thought that you meant it. But you will serve 6 days jail. That's the consequences part. You will have a scram tether for 90 days. That's the monitoring part. And you'll complete an MRT program because that is the treatment part. Treatment strongly believes that with an MRT program, your thoughts about how to address some of these issues would be different and you wouldn't get yourself in trouble anymore. That's the goal, right?
So,
If you ever had another time in your life where you had to come back to court and consider prison, jail, or specialty court, that's a lot. The goal is you don't ever have to make that choice again. So since I gave you jail, you have the right to appeal my sentence. If you'd like to appeal and you need a public defender to assist you, you need to make your application within 14 days. Questions on that? Mr. Warren's is gonna have to take you downstairs right now to do your 6
is
days.
there any way that I could have work release for my job? I have my schedule, my hours. So other than that, I'm gonna lose my job.
Benson, no. When you make these choices, you need to remember what you're going to be missing about life. If you make a choice to continue to drink your life away, there will be no job. There will be none of this. You're going to do your 6 days right now. And that's part of why I told Mr. Riley to tell you last week that you were going to do some time right now. So you tell your employer, I don't know if working at the brewery is the best idea for you right now anyway.
We don't do beer. We just do soda drinks and stuff like that. We don't do beer.
At Allison?
Yeah. It's the back part of it's more soda and then
You're cooking food, but there's a
no,
brewery.
I'm not cooking. I'm in the back in the production line.
That's a brewery. I've been there. It's a brewery. They serve beer.
No, I'm in the back in the production line though.
It's still a
I'm not in
brewery.
there.
It's still a brewery. They still serve beer.
Yeah, inside.
Yeah.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.